He's also a Republican. So anyway, he needs money too. All of these candidates need money. If you can give them $5, whatever, anything, they would all appreciate it because we don't have the Teamsters behind us and all of the other unions. So think about that. Tom.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
What a great place for a golfer to be. I go to a lot of Republican Women Federated, and I stand here and give a speech, and instead of looking at you, I'm going, I think I made a great shot. Hillary Clinton should go to jail, not the White House. And this concludes my remarks. I'm a constitutionally conservative Republican. I'm from Rancho Cucamonga, California. My father was a precinct committeeman for 39 years, so my brothers and I were passing out campaign literature 2 years before Little League. I'm running for the United States Senate to restore conservative government to California and the nation. I have 32 years of experience working with and advising elected and appointed officials at all levels of government, from city hall to county boardrooms to state legislature to Congress. The reason why you don't see my name for these debates is because I'm self-funding my campaign. I'm running on my Social Security and my pension. I retired in 2008 at the age of 58. Played a lot of golf. I made a mistake. I taught my stepson to play golf, and in 19 months he was shooting par golf. I've run for office before, so I know the commitment, and I also know the strategies involved in a campaign. I really don't need to spend $250,000 for someone to tell me something that I can do in 2 weeks. So that self-funding that I mentioned is a little bit of a problem because of the debate criteria. If you have money, according to the field poll, and if you have from other sources, and you have endorsements, I don't seek endorsements. I go to you, the voter. I don't want to be somebody's lapdog. So what happens is the field polls come out, and 3 Republicans debate. I don't want to say them. You know who they are. Democrats. Kamala, okay, I'll say it, Loretta Sanchez. So guys like myself don't appear in the debates. And you read about the debate the next day and it says, nobody did anything. They didn't have anything in particular to say, and they didn't prove any types of points. Now, with my years of experience, I mean, the closest candidate to me has 6 years of experience. So I'm very much interested in taking this public service that I've done for 32 years to the United States Senate and continue my public service. When I told my wife in November of 2014, I'm going to take my 32 years in service and run for the United States Senate, she said, quote, okay, end quote. So I've got a kitchen pass to run for the United States Senate. I've signed, first of all, I'm a United States Air Force veteran, and I have a master's degree in urban planning. I also taught urban planning. I have 4 children and 5 grandchildren, including a little special needs guy. He's 4 years old, just learning how to walk. So that happened last week. So we're very happy about that. I've signed the Manhattan Declaration. If you've not heard of it, it proclaims the dignity of life, the sanctity of marriage between a man and a woman, and freedom of religion. I've also signed a no tax initiative. I don't believe in a flat tax. It's not going to generate enough money to take care of what we need to do in the United States. I think we can take the entitlement programs, which constitute 50% of our national budget, and reprioritize them. Just as a quick example, there are 16 agencies that deal with education. None of them are under the Department of Education. So we have millions and millions and millions of dollars going to 16 agencies right out of our pockets. One of the things I'm going to do in Washington, and this comes from my long-range planning background, is you don't make a plan unless you look at the past. Then you look at the present, and then you get information from a lot of people what they want. So my problem with government at this point is that it's too big and it's too intrusive in our daily lives. And we have to get the federal government out of our business. My 4 top priorities include national defense, the economy, anti-terrorism, and veterans affairs. You know, our nation has really been diminished in so many ways by the president. The only thing that he really accomplished was his agenda from the start, and that agenda was to make America just like any other country. I'm sorry, Mr. President, we're the United States of America. We're not like any other country. We lead, we don't follow. We have to fix that, and hopefully in 6 months or less we'll be able to do that. In order to bring America back to prominence, these are some of the things that I think we need to do. We need to fully fund national defense, our state and local law enforcement, and seal our borders. We need to degrade and eliminate terrorism wherever it exists. We also need to stand by Israel and keep Iran from developing a nuclear capability. And keep an eye out for North Korea, because that's where Iran's centrifuges are, and that's where the uranium is. They're developing Iran's program, and in a blink of an eye, they're going to send those centrifuges fully loaded back to Iran. That's the threat we face. We also face another threat for the second time in our lives, communism. Because a president with no intestinal fortitude at all is intimidated by a guy who rides a horse with no shirt. Mr. Putin apparently is someone who Mr. Obama looks up to. We can improve our economy through deregulation, and we can also reduce the corporate tax. We need to create jobs, not see them go someplace else. So we deregulate. We don't put a lot of environmental nonsense on the backs of businesses. I'm an environmental planner, but if a little kid needs shoes or clothing, or a veteran needs a home because he's homeless or she's homeless, they're going to get my attention first before that, also before climate change. So we can also improve our economy by reducing the capital gains tax so we can keep more money. You know, that's money we earn. We ought to be able to have more money. Let's see here. Trade agreements. Now let's take reducing the tax code. 77,000 page tax code. It should be shredded along with the Iran non-treaty. And we also should negotiate or renegotiate our trade agreements. NAFTA's killed us, and it's been around for decades. We have treaties that have been around so long that when they were ratified, they probably served a good purpose for the United States. But now, they're not. Just like some laws that we have to go back and get rid of, and some rules and regulations in all of these departments of government, like Homeland Security and HUD and Commerce, and especially the VA, where veterans died. That's terrible. So we need to look at those treaties and renegotiate them so they benefit the United States of America. I mean, that's the idea, isn't it? Not to give something away. My wife lost her business. She's from China. She and her sister lost her international business when the World Trade Organization was formed. We must protect our veterans and make sure that the services that are supposed to be available to them are there when they need them, and follow them wherever they go. Just because they may have come out of therapy pretty good, that doesn't mean we drop them because, okay, now he's out of therapy. 55 veterans commit suicide every single day. My suggestion is, in order to help the economy, in order to help everyone in the United States, is quit giving money away to countries that want to kill us. Why are we giving hundreds of millions or billions of dollars to Iran? and other countries that turn right around and treat us like dirt. We go into a country, Afghanistan, Iraq, we help out, and after a while, compliments of the media, what gets reported is they now want to kick us out of their country. That shouldn't be. So if we ever get involved in another conflict, my suggestion is we go in with a coalition, but that country that we're going into has to have some skin in the game. They can't be trained by us, and then when something happens, drop their guns and run, leaving us in harm's way. In terms of pro-life, I am pro-life. And I wouldn't trade my little kids, my grandchildren for billions of dollars on some days. Other days maybe. But pro-life to me means the sanctity of life, as I mentioned before. There's something that, in conjunction with that, I think we need to defund major portions of Planned Parenthood. There's some good things there, but we have to find them. And defunding Planned Parenthood completely might be a mistake, but we definitely need to stop what they were doing. We found out about that about 6 months ago or so. We also need to repeal doctor-assisted suicides and the death tax. You want to pay to die? I don't know, what do you get, a receipt in the grave site? I'm not sure. We need to place a moratorium on Common Core. 2 and 2 is 4. We all grew up with our times tables and everything. When I went home to Illinois for a while to visit my family, my 3rd grader, my grandchild, was doing his homework. And it's a very simple addition problem. He was writing. I said, "What are you writing?" "Well, I have to, he didn't say justify. I have to justify what, I'm doing, blah, blah, blah. The kid's sitting there, and he's doing his homework for hours. And he's basically writing a treatise on the history of mathematics to figure out a problem that totals 10, 5 and 5. So we don't need Common Core. The other reason why we don't need Common Core, and there are many, is because Common Core's curriculum, in many places, leaves out American history. Here's a little statistic for you. Muslims started to purchase our textbook publishing companies in 1980. Today, they own 80% of our textbook publishing companies. You wonder why American history is dropped out? Wonder why Common Core is not good? We need to do a lot in terms of education.
80%?
80% of the book publishing companies, textbook. I listened to 2 speakers from Israel, and one of them had that statistic. It just blew me away.
Is that in this country? Or
That's in this country.
people in this, Muslims in this country?
Right. Well, no, that's Muslims anywhere. Not just in the United States. And I was, again, started in 1980. I'll fact check that, but I wrote it down verbatim when I heard it.
A question I want to start.
Sure.
Teacher.
Do I have to raise my hand? You have a question now?
No, I
Oh,
just,
well, quit interrupting
I would
me.
want to go and look and see if there's.
Stop interrupting me, will you? I'm busy here. I'll fact check that, okay?
Okay.
All right. And I'm just about going to wrap it up here, okay? Here's an idea for immigration. Stop it. I want to put a moratorium on immigration. I want to know who's here now before we let 11 million other people or whatever into our country or keep them here. We need to deport. If someone comes to the country illegally and doesn't learn the language and doesn't pay taxes, and they say, I'm coming from another country, I've got to be in the United States. You and I didn't create that problem. Be an adult, go back to your country, come in the right way. Also, sanctuary cities, no way. I'm going to work in the Senate to defund sanctuary cities. Here's an idea for our economy. Same Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid. And I didn't get a raise this past year. I don't think the rest of you got a raise in Medicare. I didn't think so. Here goes my golf money. We need to eliminate the discriminatory components of the Affordable Care Act. You know, why do we have to pay because we don't have insurance? And why are companies chastised financially for not doing what the bill says? And incidentally, Nancy Pelosi never read that bill. Otherwise, she wouldn't have made this stupid comment. We'll just have to pass it in order to find out what's in it. Unbelievable. We will have the opportunity over the next 4 years to replace 3 to 4 justices. And we need to do that with conservative, constitutionally aware judges. So please tell your congressman now that that's what you plan to do, because we need to get to it as soon as possible. And finally, everybody talks about the drought and writing a plan and everything. I've got a plan that I'm writing. It'll be done over the weekend, but it's not just for the drought. It's for all these issues that I talked about. I've had these issues out since November of 2014. Some of the candidates are just now getting the issues. They don't want to answer questions because it may give their position on pro-life or not, and all these other issues. But in terms of the drought, in terms of water quality management, I was appointed to a water quality management study by the governor of Illinois, and it is not a difficult thing to put a plan together for this type of need. The problem is that no governor in the past has done this, and now we have a problem. And let me put forth a solution, part of a solution. Well, a couple of them. Hydroelectric facility, I put a hydroelectric facility back in operation that Commonwealth Edison in Illinois closed down in 1958. And after we finished renovating it, it produced $400,000 worth of electricity at the city, so we reduced the effect of the energy problem that the city had to pay. Desalination. This is something we need to do. It's builds desalination plants. They're very expensive. They're also expensive to operate. However, our troops drank desalinized water on our ships during World War II. They drank it in Europe, and they drank it in Asia. The technology has changed so much, it's safe. So we need to do what Israel has done for the last 10 years. Israel has given desalinized water, clean water, to the farmers to grow their crops to feed their nation. They give it to business and industry to retain and create jobs. Israel has turned a crisis into an economic engine, and the United States of America can do the same thing. So as I close, and I didn't use any Ronald Reagan quotes, but the one about abortion, he said, it's interesting to know that those who are in favor of abortion have already been born. So what I'm asking you today is to be my voice. You know, I'm traveling the state. That's the job. I don't mind driving. But I need your support to reach out to people. If you agree with what I said today, if you want to further what I'm trying to do, volunteer, have a meet and greet, but definitely be my voice when you go to other organizations, when you go to your place of worship, or you go to work. Please tell people that I'm here, I'm on the ballot, and I have